How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. Another week of hot takes. Your favorite radio show host, Zach Cleaver. We also got
Sam Brink. Why are we doing this?
and Noah Romo.
We haven't done that. We haven't done that.
never done
Hey,
episode,
we're changing it up. We're feeling
Okay.
fancy tonight. So, all right, just another week, same old, I guess is what we're going with. We got news stories. We got sports coming 9:30. We got Collins. We're talking funny summer job stories. So, greasy job stories.
Yeah, life advice.
Life
whatever
advice.
you
I feel like everyone has a funny summer
Yeah,
job story, though.
someone does.
Summer job stories, especially if you work in a factory, like
Yeah.
mine's going to be
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
Phone number is 608-785-6696.
And after that, we're going to have the all-time favorite bedtime stories to end you guys off for the night. So let's kick it off with some news. I will start it off because I have a hilarious one.
Okay.
So, Kentucky school teacher gets arrested at school. She claims to police she took 4 shots of vodka, but when they took her BAC, it registered at a .317. Do you comprehend that?
0.317.
Legal
yes.
driving
Yeah,
limit's
it's
0.08.
Yeah.
So
I know.
almost 4 times. It is 4 times.
That's
the
you know,
limit.
if you're like 0.4, you're like dad.
Yeah, you're almost.
Yeah.
She was almost dead. She did not have 4
And she was
shots.
teaching. She was teaching your elementary kids.
And-
She is an elementary substitute.
Unless she's like 80 pounds, 3'5", she
I have a
did not
personal
take 4
connection to
shots.
this.
I do
had
too.
I had a middle school teacher that used to booze.
Yeah,
on the
I
job.
had a
Quite a bit.
kindergarten teacher. who
Really?
used- I'll tell that for the bedtime story.
Oh,
That's a good one.
my.
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to she was.
Yeah.
I had one that I was
feeling herself,
convinced.
like she was.
I
in
there's a
high
lot of
school,
teachers
I
out
thought
there.
Blanchard was in high school.
Blanchard.
Shout out
he
to
might
Blanchard.
have.
I love him, but he
Yeah.
always had that coffee
Put a
cup.
little Irish
And he was
cream in
always
there.
acting a little, you know.
You saw his Twitter? You remember
Oh,
seeing-
yeah.
where
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
loves
would, like,
cats and blonde
boobs.
bombshells
Yeah,
or
he
something
would,
like that.
He would retweet like really like
Interesting.
Like
explicit
girls
stuff.
like in water with like crop tops on, and like this guy,
Yeah.
we'd
He's
come
very
in every
small.
day. Funny side story about this guy, by the way.
Let's hear it.
So I would come in every day for his class, and he had like a record player, and he had all
Yeah.
these like records he would
I
play.
remember that.
And every day he would play a song, and like the first day he played CCR, so I knew it. And then he's like, "Wow, you really got an ear for music. Wow, wow." And I'm just trying to kiss ass, so I'm like, you know what? I'll go along with it. Every day I would come in and he would play a new song. I would have Shazam going in my
Oh,
pocket
you
on my
know what it
phone,
was.
and every day he'd like end the song and he'd look at me and go, "What do you got?" Every time,
You knew it.
nail
'cause
on
you
the
had
head.
Shazam.
I was like, the old Dirt Road extended version, I feel like. He's like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "I got an ear for music, like you said." It was-
Of course, he probably loved that.
The rest
Oh,
of the
he
kid-
did.
The rest of the
he
kids
loved
in
me.
the classroom probably thought you were just the loser.
Oh no, they were like half of them were in on it. They were
Oh,
just
yeah.
laughing every day because I had Jacob Thappa in that class. I had Sam Widmer.
Yeah.
I had Jack
Middlestead's
Middlestead,
in that class, yeah.
Melise, or not Melise. I mean, God dang it, why did I mess that up?
Malik?
No, not Malik either.
Who?
From Milwaukee.
Oh, Mill.
Mill
Mill in that
Mill was
class?
in that
That's
class, and every
funny.
day he's like, "How you know that music, man?" And I'm like, I just got, I showed him one day, and he just was breaking out laughing. He's like, "How about I play some of my music?" Goes up one day and tries to type in on YouTube like Meek Mill or something.
course,
We
yeah.
get like a sentence in, boom, over. He's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna listen to that anymore."
Yeah,
That's funny.
my boozing teacher was very lenient in the classroom.
Okay.
Like everything would happen. She wouldn't really care because she was already happy. She was very
Yeah,
happy.
well
She was a
said.
happy drunk. Like Noah Harvey locked the kid in the closet with her in the room. Locked the kid in the
Like as a
with
joke?
a broom. Actually, no, that's study hall. But yeah, okay. It was
It's still
different
messed up.
teacher, but he locked the kid in the closet with a broomstick, and then like
Jeez.
So like, was this teacher like how? Wait, how old were you again? Sixth
it
grade?
was 8th grade.
8th grade. How'd
Okay.
you guys know she was hammered? Like, you just kind of had a feeling, or what?
Well, after she got fired,
kind of?
that
It
one
kinda
kinda
came
knew.
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was always like getting really
Yeah.
handsy with herself. Like she was always like just like touching herself,
Really?
and then like
Jeez.
Possessed.
Was
It
she
was like-
attractive?
no,
Ah.
she was like, and yeah. So and then after she got fired, word got out. and
Yeah.
it was like yeah, she was.
I feel
Getting
like
liquid
everyone has that
courage on the
sketchy
job.
middle school teacher. Remember computer class, Brink?
Oh,
Middle school? Oh,
what's his
Schilling?
name? Yeah, Mr. Schilling.
Oh, we had a Mr. Schilling. He was
Yeah,
greasy.
he's a
He was
greaseball.
like, He was like looking down girls'
think-
shirts and stuff, and then finally they
yeah.
caught him with just a mega load of porn on his computer.
Yeah,
and
like
I'm
a
talking not a
terabyte.
little bit, like a lot,
Yeah.
like enough porn to last if like
And
an
he was-
apocalypse happened, and he
watching
needed
it
new material
in
every day for 5 years.
He was watching
Yeah,
it in class.
He would watch it in class while kids were working on their typing
Here's-
speeds,
yeah.
taking typing tests.
Yeah, I think we should continue with the news stories, and then if once we're done with like sports, we're waiting for calls. Let's talk
Yeah.
about greasy teachers that we've had. 'cause I think
Okay,
that'll be good.
okay.
That'll be
Fair,
good. That
fair.
could be a call-in topic too
Yeah.
for anyone listening.
Okay.
Okay.
You got a
I'll
new
move
story?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because everyone knew was gonna happen. Samsung's new Galaxy Fold, the $2,000 phone that
Yeah.
folds with the screen. Apparently that doesn't work. They're breaking. They're breaking like one day in.
course they are.
Journalists and like everybody are saying the like screens are turning black. They're fizzing out. 2 journalists said they removed a thin protective layer from the screens that they thought was supposed to come off,
It's just the screen.
and it's supposed to stay on. there.
Okay, that's a little idiot error though.
Yeah.
But
how would it come
If
off
you're
so
making
easily?
a phone, why are you making?
That's
Why are you
true.
making a
Why are
screen?
you You
that
can't
just-
make a bendable screen. I feel
Yeah.
like that just doesn't work.
And this is like the first one because isn't there Razor, new Motorola Razor?
Yeah, there's
I
gonna be a
think
new
so,
Razor
yeah.
coming out.
This is this is the first.
You remember
one.
when the Razor was massive? Like everybody's
Yeah,
dad
everyone-
had it.
yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
both my parents.
You're
had
like, that's. I
Razors.
want that phone. When I turn,
Yeah.
like, when I get to middle school, I want
Or,
that
like,
phone. That
black-
phone is sick.
Blackberries.
Actually, like old phones, those things were amazing. I used to have an old Samsung like touchscreen
Did you have
phone.
like the slide?
No, it didn't slide. It was just
Okay.
all touchscreen.
Yeah.
Thing went through a snowblower and survived.
That's insane.
That is
It fell out of my
incredible.
pocket when it snowed one night, and
Snowboard.
my dad went to snowblow in the morning. Went through, hit like the blade actually hit it right in the middle. Picked it
Dang.
up, chucked it. It hit a tree. He picked it up, worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
a tough
crazy.
phone.
Yeah,
mean,
it
That's
was
worth
a
the
thought.
investment too, because
Yeah.
you know it's not $1,000 like an iPhone.
Huh. I had like one of the like ones where it was touchscreen and then you slid it.
Yeah,
so
I
with
had
the
that
keyboard.
too. Yep.
Those are sick.
Did you ever wash your phone?
No.
No, I
My
didn't.
brother washed like 3 phones.
Jeez.
People have been like dropping them in toilets. That's a real thing.
To be honest with you, my mom always did my laundry growing up, so she checked my pockets for everything, so it was impossible to
Yeah.
wash my phone.
My mom did laundry for me.
Speaking of the
till,
phone,
like,
the
6th
phones
grade.
in the toilets. This one girl that was at the bars the other like week was
Oh,
was
God.
talking to her phone fell in the toilet at the bars.
Did you grab it?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
grabbed it and
okay.
just like took it out and was.
Well, she's probably drunk.
How
so-
about
Oh,
the
that's-
brothers scenario? Did you
Yeah,
see
I
that
heard about
video?
that.
I did
I didn't
see
see the
that.
video, but I heard
so
about it.
For
gross.
those listeners.
So gross.
For those listeners
Brothers
that aren't in
Bar.
lacrosse,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brothers
so-
Bar. This dude was like dancing with this one girl, and he was heavily inebriated.
Yeah.
And it's kind of partially on the people that pulled down his pants because like it was very mean because you knew that he was already like gone,
Yeah.
but they pulled him down and
Well, he was
didn't-
grinding on a girl,
Mhm.
and then they came up and pulled down his pants so he could just straight up dry hump her.
and everything went
Yeah,
down.
and he's
like,
naked.
Everything dropped down to his ankles, and he's naked, and he doesn't pick him up. He sits
No.
there, and then the crowd, the people that he was with, that he was dancing with, figure out. They walk away from him. They walk away. He still doesn't pick up his pants. So now he's sitting there on like an elevated stage where he was dancing, looking at the whole bar, and
With his
everyone's yelling stuff at him.
Balls.
And then he like he doesn't pull up his pants at all for like
covers.
5 minutes. He covers up, and then the crowd keeps yelling at him. And then he finally figures out, you know what? It's a good move. I will stop covering, give the double bird to the bar, and he
And
sits there.
shakes his dick.
He sits there for like 30 seconds, like, yeah, you like it. I can't help.
He's got to be on a sex offender list
Where'd
now
you
or
see
something.
the video? Because I heard
It was
about it, but I didn't see
some
the
girl,
video.
Rycal, had it on.
No bouncer
Snapchat.
went to him either. It was like
Yeah.
a 3 or 4
Nobody
minute
handled
video.
this.
Really?
And the thing is, like, you would expect this guy to, like, why didn't the cops come?
I don't know.
Like, I've seen the cops come for much less at a bar, and then
Yeah.
you got a guy pulling out his schlong, just flapping it at everybody in the bar,
Flipping everyone off.
and does not care.
Yeah.
And no, I think he walked out. I think he just left.
They say Brothers Bar is the best bar here in lacrosse. So
Yeah, because it won the
wanted
Barstool
to-
Lax
they-
vote,
they
which
say
there was
so.
not one upset in that
I
tournament.
want
by
to
the way.
know
Yeah, but-
what clicked in his head to just go, you know what, and just
Yeah.
double bird it. And I can't help but think, what's
You're-
the
everyone already saw it, and they're roasting you for it.
What's
Might as
the
well
Seth-
just.
What's the Seth Rogen movie where he's like, you know what, you like that, you like. and
Oh,
he's
that's
just-
from what is that? What is that? Is it the one we just watched recently?
no.
no, but
I
it's
know what you're
basically the
talking about.
exact same
Yeah.
scenario. Like,
Yeah, I know exactly what
Oh,
you're
I'm
talking
pretty
about.
sure that's next or the interview. It's the
Yeah, it's
interview.
the interview.
so
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
if you want a depiction of what went on, just watch,
Just
the,
watch the
interview with
interview.
Seth Rogen, and you'll see exactly what happened.
Actually,
It was just so
That's crazy, though.
gross.
Can't
Nobody
go back
cared.
to that bar after that.
Can't go
Really?
back to any
no,
bars.
yeah,
I don't
you can't
think.
like go to lacrosse. Everyone's gonna know your face.
Yeah, everyone's like, "That's the guy that flashed his dick." Like, no,
Actually-
he's not getting in.
Spin zone on it. You just gotta own it at that point.
And then you're
you
famous.
Just gotta be the double.
He's
person.
like, "Yeah, I'm the dick guy." He's, like,
like,
"I'm
"I
making
did it."
T-shirts." He goes downtown next week and he's selling T-shirts with just him up on a black T-shirt.
3D
be-
molds
you're-
of his dick.
Oh. like in Neighbors or whatever when they're making the dildos to
Yeah,
raise
Trust
money.
me, when you're in a group of friends and everyone's roasting each other, that's the one roast that
Yeah.
you can't. Like, there's like, oh yeah, well at least I was never
What do you say
just
back?
naked and brothers.
You
giving
shouldn't be
everybody-
allowed
yeah.
within 1,000 feet of a school after that scenario. Like,
Honestly-
there's guys that get caught peeing in public and they go
Yeah.
on the sex offender list.
Who do you think is more embarrassed though, like him or the girl?
Oh, that was probably a rough morning for everybody involved.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was his girlfriend or just a girl.
It's probably just a girl.
Probably just a girl.
If you're at a bar, it's usually
Dude,
just a
yeah,
girl.
that morning for him was probably so
if
embarrassing.
that's his girlfriend, you gotta question some loyalty. She left him.
Yeah.
She ditched him.
No, I
No
would have
man
a
left
dude.
behind.
I would
She
have a
just
personal
said no.
She just pulls
vendetta
her pants
with the
down.
chick that pulled his
At
pants
least
down.
cover him
Yeah.
up.
Like, I would hunt her down,
Yeah, that's
and
messed
I
up.
would just, I would do something to avenge it.
What
Like,
would
I'm
you do?
talking egging houses.
Yeah.
I'm talking find her at the bars and pour a margarita over her head or something.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
talking like
I understand.
avenge.
I understand if if you were even the friends of the dude, you're like, no, I'm not gonna be associated with that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to help him right now.
That's
But
true.
girlfriend,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
girlfriend, you can pull up the
Girlfriend,
pants for him and
yeah.
fix it. Like,
Yep.
that's where you got to be with
If
him.
it's a girlfriend,
If
yeah.
you
Like,
Yeah,
if you're
girl-
dating, you're in on that.
If it's a friend, you're laughing.
Yeah. If
To
I
be
saw
honest.
Rummel get his pants
Yeah.
pulled down, I would
Why
probably
did you say me? Why?
just because
Because
you're
you're here.
always at the bars and you're always,
You're
at,
always
the bars, and you
every
get
night of
very
the week.
intoxicated. You've been kicked out of what was that one place? Twisted Moose for dancing up
I
on the
didn't
bar,
get-
not naked.
No, I didn't get kicked
or no,
out.
you got cut off. You got
Cut off.
Cut off.
Yeah,
right?
you said-
because my
yeah.
friend paid
And-
to get.
and he
Yeah,
knew the-
whatever.
knew
But I'm
the
just saying,
bartender.
moral of the
Knew the
story,
bartender.
Rummel. I'm just saying, if it happened to Rummel or like Stelzer or one of our friends, I think I would laugh super
Yeah.
hard. I mean, I'd probably help him though, man. I'd help him. I'd be like, come on.
Yeah,
you gotta
after a
think.
while.
Like after like 30
if they're
seconds, like,
flipping everyone off.
yeah,
then
you gotta be like, dude,
then
we
you
gotta get
gotta
out of
help
here,
them,
bro.
yeah.
You're gonna catch some tickets.
Yeah, actually though, I don't know.
You hit your story.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this place called Cherry Hills Village. It's a subdivision.
Okay.
And the subdivision was named Swastika Acres for the longest time. Called Swastika Acres.
How's it spelled?
like
swa-
swastika
okay.
is spelled. It is. It's called. Yeah. This is in Colorado too.
That's some prime real estate right there.
Yeah.
That's like 90210 level, like paying for the zip code. You're paying for swastika
yeah,
acres.
here's the
White
thing.
supremacists everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those guys that are living like
Yeah.
they just hate. They're just racist. They're like, oh,
They
swastika
had to-
acres.
They had to change it. They had to
Well,
change
of
the
course,
name.
they had to change
They
it.
just did it though.
Where-
They just changed it.
Where's the cross burning night swastika acres?
yeah, exactly.
Like, you kidding me? Swastika acres. We're having a pool party.
Because they said some buyers are savvy enough to read the documents and really dig in and understand what their legal description of their property is. Because like they were
Are
not
there
selling.
some Nazis bedded down here? Like some old.
If there's a head of an Illuminati area anywhere, it's not Denver Airport. It's swastika acres
Yeah.
under the
I know.
under the pond.
I know. I
They're
know.
digging too deep. It's just
Appar-
right out in the open.
Apparently, it was named before the symbol was adopted by the Nazis, but you think the change would have came sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
what 50 years ago, 60 years ago. No, way more than that.
70.
That was 70 years
Yeah.
ago.
Some
More 75. We're getting to 80.
The homeowner board was like, you know what, we're just gonna ride this one out. I think we can.
It
cape
can't cost
No.
much or be that hard to change.
No.
You know what? They probably just didn't change the name because they knew the minute they did, it would bring attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
probably,
Like
yeah.
if it's like,
Yeah.
oh, changing.
That's true.
But like-
There was a time before the internet.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had about
That's
50
true.
years before the internet.
And the only way they could change it was by getting 100% of the property owners to be
Yeah.
on
So
board.
there was just that one guy that was like,
So there were
Nazis
some
aren't
guys-
so
So come
bad.
up. It's 8 a.m. on a Friday. Guy just opens his door. He's wearing a wife beater. He's a 60-year-old man, a little heavy set, completely bald.
Yeah.
He's got tattoos
Tattoos
all
on
over
his
his
face,
forehead,
yeah.
his neck.
You know what?
He's got just a raging, mean dog that just looks racist.
You know what
You're like,
Swastika-
what is going on here? We're
He's
never
like,
going to get the vote.
love living
Swastika
here.
Acres was actually like the scene from Step Brothers when they're like with dudes
Oh, yeah.
in the lawn. He's like,
Yeah.
great fertilizer. He's in the KKK
Yeah.
outfit. Then the dude's in the Nazi outfit right over there.
That's so
Everyone.
funny. I love that.
That'd be hilarious. It's just the worst of all people live there together. And there's
Everybody recycles.
They're at
Need
like
some manure?
yeah. They're at like a meeting. They're at like a board, like a village board meeting. And everyone's like, let's change it. One guy stands up, he's like, but
Damn Nazis. They are so bad.
if you think about it, ain't too bad. Like, come on, man. And the new name is Old Cherry Hills.
Mm.
So they went
Okay.
from
Sounds like
Swastika
a
Acres
neighborhood
to
trying to
Old
hide
Cherry
something.
I still think if
Sounds
like one
like
of
a
my
neighborhood trying to hide
friends'
something.
families bought a house there, I'd still roast them for it. I'd be like, living on the old ritual killing site, eh, buddy? How's that going?
Cross burnings?
Story.
Yeah, you got another one?
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. 71-year-old, wait for it, Florida man
There it is. Thank you.
fills a squirt gun with
Oh, I
pee
saw this,
and
yeah.
walks up to a woman and
Classic.
sprays her multiple times while she is walking her dog.
Uh,
When the police asked why he did it or if he would do it again, he said, yes, I would love to do it again. They are not sure what caused the attack.
you think it's like a kink? He just wa-
Spraying pee out of a little. That means this guy had to go to the dollar store, buy a squirt gun, come back, drink enough Gatorade to work up a piss, take a pee in the water gun.
Some people just never
Put
grow
his
up.
clothes and shoes on, walk outside, and find somebody to shoot. This is a thought out process.
What's to say this isn't like a $30 super soaker? Like he's really drenching her.
Oh, that'd be
Imagine.
disgusting. A
It's-
super soaker. You just get
Yeah.
super soaked with piss on your way, walking your dog in the morning before work.
It's
That'd
the
be just
worst way to start your
unfortunate.
day. by
What
some
would be
random
worse,
dude.
that or the video of the guy with the train?
Definitely getting soaked in piss. Like
What's
that
the
would be-
What's the train?
The train, it's hilarious. It's
There's a video on Twitter you gotta look
Barstool
up.
Sports. It's
Huh.
the dude. This train, he's stuck at this train stop next to like there's dead animals next to his car,
Yeah.
so it's like it smells. And this train just keeps like slowly creeping forward at the stop, and then slowly creeping back. It did it like 5 times.
And
That's
then on
awful.
the
That's
third
awful.
time or whatever, when the train started to back up, he's like, I swear, if this train comes forward, I'm about to throw hands. What are you going to do?
Fight the
Trains
train.
crush school buses.
This dude's about to fight Thomas the Tank Engine. Like,
Yeah. Like, what are you going to get out of that? Just goes up and punches it.
That'd be an even better video. Just
I
some
feel
guy
like
just throwing like
even if
body
you-
shots on the train.
Even if you told someone at work, like, I got soaked and pissed today, they wouldn't believe you. They'd be like, that's funny. What did you think of that? You'd be like,
Yeah.
no, that actually happened to me today. Like, that's a real thing. No one would believe you.
Huh. Yeah,
Maybe
no.
in Florida. Florida might. I'm sure
Florida.
they come to Florida every day to work with a
Yeah,
news story.
they're like, my first cousin did that last week.
Do you have one? Another one?
Yeah, I do have another one. I have one that can actually lead us into sports.
Ooh, okay, there we
if you
go.
want. So, Rob Gronkowski,
Ooh, I saw this.
he dented the Lombardi Trophy when he used it as a baseball bat at Fenway Park.
Yeah,
Idiot.
no,
Baller.
yeah, he laid down a bunt.
He's such an
Baller.
idiot.
I mean, when you
that's-
start
It's
giving,
baller, it's
when
cool,
you give
but he's an
260 pounds of CTE, the Lombardi
Yeah.
Trophy, what do you expect? Something's
true.
gonna happen.
I'm
Honestly,
sure they
something
can.
worse should
They
happen.
can bump it out or something. That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's ballsy. He's like, I'm not even on this team anymore. I don't care. I'm gonna get to hold it once, and I'm at, what is it called, Fenway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hit the ball with it. Why not?
But he's
I would. That's hilarious. That's
It's
the most
true.
Rob
It's-
Gronkowski
it-
thing
yeah, it is.
ever.
But he is such an idiot. Rob Gronkowski is the biggest idiot on this planet.
He is. I wonder what a coach had to say to him after.
I hope he never has kids.
Have you heard the story?
Imagine if
Have
he
you-
has kids.
Have you
Well,
heard the
CTE
stories
playing
about
into it.
Gronk at Arizona when he owned a house with his like brothers?
yeah,
No,
it was
no.
crazy. They lost security deposits like
Yeah,
every
Yeah,
year.
they
I
were like
assume
putting
so.
holes in the like.
Made
human
slip and
holes
slides
in the wall,
inside the
yeah.
house, right?
God.
Yep.
Idiot.
Yeah,
He's
imagine
such an
it's
idiot.
not just him. He has multiple brothers.
Yeah, and they're all probably big, beefy boys.
I was listening to Pat McAfee's podcast when he was still with Barstool, and one time he was interviewing he was interviewing Gronk's dad,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Have you ever been offered cash to inseminate a woman?" And he's like, "Yeah, actually multiple times because he has so many kids
Super
now
babies.
that are that are insane. Like his dad is like a breeding bull. Like people, like husbands will come to him with offers.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
That's how you know you have some good genes,
Yeah, I mean, imagine going to high school with the Gronkowski boys.
dude.
Imagine how
Those
bad-
guys were the coolest guys in high school. They threw the parties every weekend. I bet they were
Imagine how
probably
bad They
crazy.
bullied some kids. They probably just bullied so
Oh
many
yeah,
kids. It's
Gronk
probably
could
awful.
be the lead role of any bully in any high school movie.
Yeah.
Like Drillbit Taylor.
Yeah.
I could just see the Gronk brothers being the bullies in that.
Yeah, actually though.
Speaking of hitting balls with like with
Are we moving on to
things,
baseball
yeah.
with the
Kristen Yelich.
Kristen Yelich, MVP.
Smoking balls out there
He is. He's playing well.
everywhere. He has 9 home runs right now.
Yeah. He went
in,
off against was it the Cardinals?
Oh yeah, absolutely
What was
slapped
it?
them around.
5 RBIs.
He also bought a girl a puppy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
did,
just
'cause
for
he
the
hit
third home
runs.
run, the family came and they had a sign, and it said like Christian Yelich, if you hit a home run today, our parents will get us a dog, and it was like 2 little girls.
And he bought it for
And
them.
yeah, so they
That's
came
great.
back to another game. Like he must have
Yeah.
invited them, and then he brought them out a dog.
That's adorable.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
sweet.
very
That's
cool.
an
Yeah.
MVP move.
I
That's
said
cool. I like Yelich a
when I
lot.
saw it in my house, I told my roommates, "What if he just gave him like a stray, like
Just a mutt. It's got like rabies.
and he just like, hold on, I have the shot list here. He just pulls out a list of all the shots. The daily
Costs
shots
more
it
to
needs.
heal this dog. They just get a brand new puppy. They're like, okay. Their daughters get rabies.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers are close in with them. They're like
Yeah.
they've played one more game than us, but they have like tied record.
Yeah, Brewers are playing well.
And the last time we saw them, they slapped us around with 6 runs.
They did.
But beat them first 2, so
Yeah,
can't complain. Cardinals, they won today, actually.
did they?
Yeah, after we hosed.
Yeah,
I don't
they
follow
absolutely
baseball hard
ended
enough.
them.
I just know Yelich is a stud.
Yeah,
That's
Brewers are
literally
doing good.
that's all you
Yeah.
need to know.
Hopefully they don't lose this. They keep this
Yeah.
running for a little bit.
Like you're talking about this season or years?
Yeah.
Honestly,
From
though,
no, this season.
Okay,
If
'cause
they-
that'd be nice
if
for
they
years,
do,
because
like,
they
do
they're
bad,
playing well.
it'd be nice for them
a
to
long
do
season.
bad for like
It's
a
early.
little bit, and then just go on an insane streak at the end.
Yeah, that
It's
would be very
early
cool.
right now.
Like, because there's a
so
lot of
it's hard
teams
to
that are good
tell.
all year and then they slack at the end. Where if they do bad right now, then they'll be motivated to catch
Yeah.
back up, and that'd be sweet.
That's like what the Milwaukee Bucks. Everyone was kind of scared of with them because they started off so great. but
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
still doing good. Playing right now, actually.
Are they?
Yeah, against the Pistons game too.
They dominated them game 1.
were
Giannis just was
losing at
like
half.
playing with a bunch of middle schoolers.
Yeah, I
but
don't-
now they're up.
I have a
like-
problem with
17,
I
so.
saw somebody
They
say-
won by like 31, right?
Yeah,
I
but
saw somebody say that like, oh, look at this. Giannis had one dribble and he went the whole court and then
Yeah.
dunked. Yeah, he traveled. He traveled before that dribble and after. He took 4
Yeah.
steps before, 4 steps after.
Traveling doesn't exist in the
in
NBA.
the NBA,
anymore.
they have the gather.
Have you seen the
stats, so it's
videos of
really
like James
I don't know,
Harden
I
and like
know.
Russell Westbrook? They literally you
They
can count
take
with James
steps,
Harden. You've seen
yeah.
like 9 once, where it was like
I know,
you're like
but then
how
I don't,
how
You can't say that the man dribbles the whole court with
Yeah,
one
I
dribble
know.
when he actually travels. Like, yeah,
Travels,
I
yeah.
can dribble the whole court with one dribble.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
he's a stud though.
Yeah, Giannis is amazing.
He's a freak
Yeah,
of
he's
nature.
doing good.
He is so good. He's one of a kind. I've never seen it.
And back to last week when Rummel and I made a $20 bet
Yeah.
on the air,
Yeah.
saying that the Lightning would come back and beat the Blue Jackets 4 games in a row
Yeah.
after losing the first, and they got swept
4-0.
4-0. Lightning lost to the Blue Jackets.
I'm gonna interrupt this one real quick.
Sure.
Is our
Calling on
calling on? My brother's
Yeah, we
gonna
need the
call in
expert.
about
We need the
some,
expert. What's your brother's
hockey?
name?
Logan.
Yeah,
Logan Rummel,
Has he
hockey
called?
expert analyst,
Try
is
calling?
going to be calling in tonight to talk about
Calling
hockey.
at 9:25, so he's gonna
Okay,
be
yeah,
coming in
we're on. We're on.
very soon.
Okay.
To address the Tampa Bay, no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
That was
Cleaver
a
did.
I had a crystal ball. I had a crystal ball in my hand, and I saw something. I didn't see a sweep. Wait, like, could you imagine the odds if you bet on them to sweep them?
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
They were probably
Oh,
of money,
insane.
Yeah.
Hand up, I got embarrassed a little bit.
I-
Cleaver kept Snapchatting me, like he kept trying to get me to pay him while the game was still going on.
Because it was
And I just-
4-0 in the third. I'm
and I
like, it's
kept-
over.
I kept texting him, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to read your text messages. Just stop, okay? Let me sulk in my own
Yeah, give
pity
you
for
some
a little
time
bit. Let
to-
me recuperate.
The Venmo
Yeah.
I received was beautiful.
And here he is,
How's it going?
another
Hockey
guy.
analyst Logan Rummel, how we doing?
Another guy that didn't have Tampa Bay just losing, because I was texting him while the game was going on, and I was shocked, and he was shocked too. We were all disappointed.
Well, I don't know how they got swept. I legit have no clue.
After like what is a historic season?
Yeah, they had 62 wins.
Yeah, like best ever.
That's
Tied.
Yeah,
for
they
best ever.
tied the 1995-1996 Red Wings
That's
for
insane.
all-time wins.
And then get swept.
Did you see the tweet that the program put out today?
No,
saying that or not today, but
Yeah,
I think
it looked like
yesterday.
I saw something
like
where
a-
it was like a subtweet, and they're like, it literally looks like what your ex-girlfriend would send your girlfriend when she lets you down.
That's
It's like
funny.
we didn't expect this either. We're sorry. We know you're sorry. We're sorry too. It was like,
That's
come on,
bad. That's
it's
like
disappointing.
big joke.
So
Yeah, it's being classified as one of the biggest playoffs blunders of all time. They
Yeah.
were ranked first in power play and penalty kill during the regular season, and then went 1 for 6 on power plays and 5 for 10 on penalty kills.
that's
Just
not,
embarrassing.
That's that blue jacket magic.
that is. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Moving
But
on to the
who
other
do you
games
got
going
in these
on,
other
though.
series right now that are still going on between? Well, let's say Boston and Toronto. Boston won today, 6-4.
I have Toronto as long as they continue playing their game. If they get sucked into physical play and playing Boston style of game, then they won't win that series.
That's
Okay.
fair. They're all finesse players. They literally are, like Matthews, Nylander, all those guys. They're finesse players. They don't really go out and put bodies on people.
Did you
Yep,
have
they have to keep speed.
Did you have the Penguins winning one?
I did not. I thought the Penguins and the New York Islanders actually would probably go 6 games, so that sweep surprised me as well.
Well, it was last night that they had they had a lot of opportunities on the net, and they just couldn't find they just couldn't get it in.
And it's really just weird too, because like the Penguins are a team that like you're like they're gonna make it in the playoffs. Like they do
Yeah.
good like every year.
They're that
So
team, yeah.
you don't expect them to come out and get swept right away. Ben Bosey is probably just crying in
Yeah,
his
he's
dorm
in
room.
shambles.
One of our friends from high school is a huge Pittsburgh guy,
Pittsburgh,
and when they
everything.
lose, last year he came to school with a broken hand because he
Yeah.
punched his wall. Right?
Yeah. They used to like
I can't even imagine
shoot
what
himself
happened.
in the head with
Did
an
you-
airsoft gun.
Vegas is showing
Crazy.
out
Yep.
for the squad.
Yeah, and that is I'm gonna change this. This is gonna come at Logan a little bit here. I called you a couple weeks ago right before the playoff, and I told you they were coming. They had momentum and they were moving for you, and you said no, they're gonna lose first one. What do you have to say for
I
yourself?
did think that.
Fleury is a brick wall right now.
He
Nothing
is
can get past
playoff.
him.
He in the playoffs. He's a tank. Last year
Yeah,
they swept first round 4-0. Second round they won against I believe it was San Jose again, and that was like 4-1 or 4-2. Third round they beat the Jets 4-1 or 4-2, and then they lost to who'd they lose to in the finals last year again? I can't remember.
The Capitals.
Capitals, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like they showed out last year in playoffs. That's why I don't know. I think they'll do decent, but neither the Flames or the Avalanche really impressed me that much. Like I felt like the Flames were just going to dominate the Avalanche.
The Avalanche is actually giving them quite a few problems with their style of play. They're doing a good job on forecheck and controlling the open ice, really slowing down Calgary's play style. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's I mean, Dallas is up 5-0, I believe last time I checked on Nashville. That's insane.
5-1 now.
5-1. I don't know. I want Nashville to win that series. I like Nashville.
yep, that one all depends on if Bishop can keep up his performance for Dallas Stars, because the Predators are out shooting Dallas by quite a few shots on net. But as long as Bishop is still brick wall, they'll be able to win that series probably.
Yeah, they got some scorers. I could definitely see them beating Nashville for sure. But then again, also Nashville has
PK Subban.
in the net.
Pecorine.
Pecorine. Yeah, Pecorine is a stud. He's good.
Well, the Predators need to play basically a lineup game because they'll have the advantage later in the series. They get to set their lineup last so they can pick their matchups better, considering that their team runs a little deeper with talent than the Stars do.
What do you
Dang.
What do you think about Ovi absolutely pounding that poor man's face in?
Oh, he destroyed him.
I mean, Ovi has 30 pounds on the poor kid. Kid's 19 years old, grew up watching Ovi play in the NHL, and then just gets beat down by his idol. It's probably not fun.
That's
You got to give the guy credit though for tossing the mitts.
Yeah.
Like if you're Ovechkin now, you kind of respect the kid a little more. I mean, if the kid has
put
the
a beat down on
him.
okay, but if you watch hockey mic'd up on YouTube and stuff, a lot of
Yeah.
times after these guys fight, it's over. Like they just fight to fight.
Yeah.
So like if you're Ovechkin and this kid's 19 and he has the balls to challenge a legend to a fight, you kind of gotta tip your hat to
I don't
the
know.
kid.
I feel like there's a lot of grudges in fights, hockey fights.
Well,
so.
That's
he
true.
also could have swung momentum for his team by going for that fight, because one of the stats for that Game 3 when he fought, the Capitals lost, and they were outshot 18 shots on net to 45 shots on net.
Oh my.
Kid put a spark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say it reminds me of like when we were kids, and I'd be like down, and I'd throw like a haymaker, because I'd escalate it, and I would have no intention on finishing that fight, and I would sprint. I would like
Yeah.
move, like when you're the younger sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was the
yeah.
younger sibling
You
too,
throw
so, yeah.
that one punch, and then
You run.
Like you're like, ooh, that was over.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you run.
You run to the door and you try to get it closed. And
Chow
you just
fighting, there's
can't
no
get it. It's
backing
just
down,
like,
dude.
yeah.
There's none. If you're in the chow and you drop the mitts, you just gotta send it.
Yeah.
Because if you just back out, then you're just like, okay, now you're just wasting my time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're gonna
Like
get
plus
in a fight,
hockey
you can
fights,
get
if
in a
you get a good hockey fight where they stay up for more than like 5-10 seconds,
fight. Mhm.
they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Because they just
get the grab.
clobber each other. Or like when a guy gets a jersey over the head and just uppercuts,
Yeah.
those are disgusting.
Who is your new favorite to win the whole thing now? Because I know you had Tampa.
So the way I'm looking at it is, I think with the amount of teams and talent on the East side, they have the highest potential, but they also run into the problem that they'll just beat each other down playing games against each other, and then the person to come out of the West has the possibility of having basically an easier run to the Cup and being more rested.
That's very true.
Can't they not?
So
drink-
honestly, the way the Golden Knights, I'd pick the Golden Knights out of the West.
I like that. I
He's
like
a
that.
Benedict Arnold. He's going back on his previous takes. Ooh.
Well, usually I
Fleury
was.
can keep up his job in net, and they keep shutting down the San Jose Sharks star players the way they've been playing, and just keep playing well and playing as a team. I think they can go far. They're also getting better quality looks than San Jose's been getting, but
The only way San Jose is putting pucks in the net is off Pavi's face. He had to take one to the dome to get him a goal in the first game. I was like, Jeezer, man, that's dedication to the game. Like, did you see him? He came out after just a full Spartan mask, just clear bubble on. I don't know. I think Vegas is going to win that, and I don't know. I think I could see Vegas making it to the finals, and then, I don't know, if the Blue Jackets can beat Toronto
you're
or
gonna
whoever
ride
wins in
your
the
Blue
next round,
Jackets take-
I
no.
like them. I seriously do. If they come out and sweep the Lightning in the first round, how can you not like them? That's insane. That's very, very impressive.
Yeah.
well,
Like-
it is very impressive. But their goalie played a big factor. He was pretty dominant. They had their offense outscored. They had 19 goals to the 8 goals of Tampa.
And
So they'll
Tampa's
have to
number
keep
one
up their
offense in the league.
Hmm.
That's what I was talking
Basically-
about last week, man. Playoff hockey's a new breed. Anybody
Yeah,
can win.
If they play the Maple Leafs is the same kind of team that Tampa is: quick, fast, plays on skill and finesse. Where Bruins would be a dead match towards, or even more of a form of a physical style team than Columbus currently is.
I think that'd be a fun series to watch, though. A lot of big hits. That would be a really good series to watch, actually.
I'm actually interested in so the Hurricanes. If the Hurricanes lose and the Capitals go on, Islanders Capitals. Trotz is the coach who just got let go
Ooh,
for
that's
Capitals. He has knowledge on most of their players. Has coached them for years. He just coached an Islanders team to beat the Penguins, so he's beat the Penguins twice now. I think that'd be a good matchup.
And not only sweep the Penguins. Didn't even give up a game. That's true, because honestly, I feel like that's a huge asset. Knowing the players on the other team, knowing what they like to do, how they like to play. You just got to find all the biggest players' weaknesses and just dig at it. I could see that too. That's going to be a really good series. I don't know. I think playoff hockey this year is turning out to be really good. I've liked it a lot so far. There's been a lot of good games. There's been a lot of high-scoring games, though.
Yep, there's been a lot of upsets too, which is making everything interesting. 'Cause the teams that we thought would dominate are pretty much Calgary struggling, which would be one, and then you got the Lightning who got swept. The Penguins I thought would take that series farther, but they got swept. Capitals just lost to the Hurricanes, so that series just got interesting. So
Yeah, it's just a lot of good playoff
You
hockey.
can't root for the Capitals though because you're a Rangers fan, right?
no, I just hate the Capitals to begin with, so I can't root for them in any form.
I just don't know if I can go with another year of endless Barstool videos of Ovi screaming Russian unintelligible stuff and then just doing keg stands
Well, no,
out of
you-
the Stanley Cup.
Honestly, I
you can't
like those.
you can't do that with the cup anymore.
Oh yeah, they made a
After
new
this
rule,
year?
Yeah.
What, like, you can't,
Right?
each
I'm
player
pretty
doesn't get a
sure,
day
yeah.
with it, or what?
No, like I don't think you can drink out of it. Right? Is that a new thing?
Really?
After he
So in
went
the
on his
past,
rampage.
you get like a day with the cup, so you can take
Yeah.
it anywhere. The guys would take it on vacation and all kinds of other things.
No more keg stands with
Yeah,
the Stanley
okay.
Cup.
That's what it was.
Okay.
'Cause
Probably
Ovi
that.
was going off.
That's sweet, though. Like,
Yeah, that was
what did you
funny.
tell me about, where was it? There was, like, at
in-
Michigan State.
At Michigan State when Darius Rucker
Oh, yeah.
and who was it? It
that
was
one
Darius,
hockey player.
It was Darius Rucker and
I don't even know. But,
forgetting.
like, if you were at a bar somewhere and you saw a guy, or, like, if you're a
Yeah.
player and you get to eat cereal out of a cup one
No,
day,
it
like,
was-
that's
it was-
every hockey player's dream
it was
growing up.
Darius Rucker, Tiger Woods, and the Stanley Cup
Yeah,
all in one
that's
place
what it was.
at the one bar.
And imagine if that was now, after Tiger
With
just won
Tiger
the
Woods after
Masters.
winning the
It would be
Masters.
electric.
That'd be hilarious. Old Tiger. Just
Since we're
Pub
gonna go
crawling.
into what is
What do you
it?
got,
Summer
Colin?
job stories.
Oh,
yeah.
Logan,
Yeah.
do you have any funny summer job? I know you do from Walk Shop Painting. Do you want to talk about any? You want to tell one of them?
Oh man, I don't know. There's countless of them.
Just pick one that's, I don't know, solid.
Solid one.
Solid one.
So, my buddy Jack, we work together, and there's this tool called a 5-in-1.
okay.
It's like a really
So it's
sharp,
basic-
like scraper kind.
Yeah. Okay.
You use it to open paint cans. It's called a 5-in-1 because you can do 5 tools with the one.
Okay.
Fair.
So-
Fair.
Sick.
One thing is, when you're done with it, what we do when we're on the ladders, we throw it off into the grass and see if we could get it to stick, kind of like an axe into the ground.
That's sweet. Okay.
So what Jack did at one point was I was filling up paint on the other side of the house, and he decided to throw the 5-in-1 over the house to see if he could get the stick on the other side. Literally, as I'm bending down, filling it up with paint, over my shoulder, this 5-in-1 comes flying through and then just sticks into the ground.
Oh.
Oh, my.
And
So
this
if you were
thing-
still
this thing
standing
weighs pretty good amount. It definitely
Oh,
cracked your skull open pretty
yeah.
good.
It
So
would make you. It makes you bleed if you.
So
hit
if you
your
were
hand.
standing up, it would have nailed you.
yeah, or I was like 3 inches to the right.
So that's like
Jeez.
one of the closer calls you've ever
Yeah.
had. Oh my.
What'd you say to him? Were you pissed, or did you think it was funny?
I mean, he's almost killed me countless times on the
Okay.
job. They almost hit me with a ladder off my ladder, so
It's
it
just
was just another one to the tally.
every day. It's just soldiers going
Yeah.
into Iraq. You don't know who's coming
There was
out
just
alive.
another
There's
day
a
at
time
Walker
I
Shop
almost
Painting.
fell off the roof, or I was sliding down the roof, and I was about to take out him, my brother, when he was on a ladder right below me.
It sounds like oh my! Imagine being the guy like that pays you guys. He's like the insurance level.
Yeah.
It's just like God.
Oh, Jared is
Every
an
day.
all-time boss.
You guys probably do not get any benefits at this point. They can't
No,
afford
he
it.
gives us a lot of like. I mean, we always would joke. We were always like, if OSHA ever showed up, we'd get shut down immediately.
Yeah. That's funny.
That would be funny.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, thanks. That was actually a really good hockey talk. We appreciated it. So
Not
maybe
a
call in next
problem.
week and we'll
Enjoy the rest
keep the
of the
update
playoffs.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch the hockey so you can call in next week.
All right. Thank you,
All
man.
right.
Have a
Bye.
great night, man. All right, so I got a funny work story.
Okay.
So I worked at a factory my junior year, between my senior year and senior year of high school, freshman year of college.
Okay.
And it was at this factory where you paint like tubes and metal and do all this
J&D.
stuff. J&D.
J&D
Sure, if we're going to name drop, we'll do it.
Might as well.
Okay, so it's Greaseville, USA.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk in the door, you got Chucky Graz, you got everybody there. You
Yeah,
got
Graz Chucky.
all the 50, all the 50 to 60-year-old just white, just trailer trash factory workers. I walk in, right? And so like these guys were all just huge Trump supporters, huge, just crazy, just wild. They work in a factory. They're crazy. They're
Yeah, they go to
they're
bars
just
after work.
like breathing in
Yeah.
the fumes all day, every day, just going crazy. So one day I walk in, and everyone just seems really happy, like really happy. And this is weird because they're all usually just pissed off curmudgeons, and they hate their wives and they hate their lives.
Yeah.
So I come in, and everybody's happy, and I'm kind of walking around. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a cool day, like this never happens. Like I wonder what's going on. And I'm working, and then I finally hear one of the guys go, "You going to see Ted?"
Oh, no, I know exactly
And then
what you're talking about.
Another guy yells back, "Hell yeah, I'm going to see Ted." And I'm like, what is going on here? So I go up to one of the guys, and I'm like, "Wait, who's Ted?" Like, "You didn't hear? Ted Nugent's coming to the fair tonight." And I'm like, "Oh no!"
I remember that.
And it was like Christmas
Yeah.
for these guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking around, and I start realizing people have like Ted Nugent
Yes.
shirts on and like America hats, and I'm like,
They're
because they were all
pumped.
going right after
Yeah.
work. You knew they were getting in their trucks and heading to the
Yeah.
fair. And I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So I'm like, I have to check this out for
Yeah.
myself. I have to go. So I go to the fair,
I went
which
there
I
too.
call the Merrill family vacation
Yeah.
because Merrill is just meth capital USA, and it's about 20 minutes north of Wausau. So all the crazies come down and spend their vacation
Yeah.
money at the fair.
And everyone just goes and people watches.
It's
the best.
it's
the
horrible,
best.
dude.
So
So
funny.
I go into the concert, and I walk in, and I'm with some friends, and I'm like, guys, I'm not staying here long. Like, I like, come on, this is greasy. Like, they got just everyone there was just greasy. I'm like, I can't do this. And then all of a sudden, Ted comes out, and he's like, down, 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 hits the guitar, and he goes, "My great grandpa killed Japs in World War II," or my grandpa, he said,
Yeah,
and then he just
yeah.
goes, and then it just kicks in
You go,
to a stranglehold. It's like, and everyone's like, yeah, and then the song ends, and then the next song he goes, "Guns are for all and guns are for us,"
Yes.
and then kicks in a song, and everyone goes, yeah. So I realized, I'm like, he's brainwashing these people. He's saying a political statement,
Yeah.
and then he kicks in a song so everyone cheers, and he thinks they're cheering for the political statement, but in reality, they are. A lot of them are, but a lot of them are just cheering for the song, and I'm like, this is the biggest Grease
Yeah.
show I've ever been to in my life. I'm out, and I left.
Yeah, I've got a couple like quotes from that concert that he said. I remember him saying, he goes on his guitar and he says, "I have enough guns to arm everyone in here." and I was like, "What?"
He is
He's a
great.
big time advocate
Yeah,
for
he is.
the
NRA,
actually.
yeah,
is,
he's
yeah.
talks a lot.
huge
He's
with the
huge.
NRA.
But then another one, goes on the guitar. He says, "Wu Tang." I was like, "What?" And then he strums it. He says, "Poontang," and the crowd just gets loud. They start
Aw.
screaming. And then-
He's just Grease.
And then the last one, he went on like a little anecdote. He's like, "Every day I go out and kill one animal to help replenish my body." He's like, "And I urge every one of you to do the same." It was the most.
This was Ted Nugent's dream and the people's dream. Like,
Yeah.
it just fit.
Yeah.
They love the Grease, and he loves them. Like, he's a 70-year-old man. He's still playing guitar. He just barely makes it on stage. But when I'll give him it. When he plays the guitar, he's pretty good.
Yeah. He
But
goes
the only
off.
song like anyone knows is
Is
Stranglehold.
or Cat Scratch Fever. Those are
Yeah.
The only two.
It was just so bad.
It
So
was
that was
crazy.
my summer job story.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting job.
I mean, I worked at Kobe and Kobe that same summer, and so I made like windows, doors,
Yeah,
boring.
yeah.
But there's this one guy there, big glasses, never smiled, creepy little mustache,
Yeah.
the split hair. We called him Jeffrey Dahmer
Okay.
because he looked just like Jeffrey Dahmer. I was working there with Kyle Van Galder, and me and him would like look at this guy every day and be like, he eats people. Like, he eats people. There's no way he does not eat people. And Cleaver, on the same exact day as the Ted Nugent concert, he was smiling. Jeffrey Dahmer was smiling.
No.
And later that night, I saw him at that concert, and he was so excited.
It was literally like in the olden days when they had a city meeting
Yeah.
and everyone came.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Ted Nugent was.
so grease. That was one of the.
You know what? Actually, I got one
Yeah,
more story
sure.
because this factory sucked. So another time, lo and behold, Scott Walker
Okay.
comes in to give a speech
At J&D?
J&D, he did,
Oh, they loved it.
and yeah,
Yeah.
they did. So we all get called up to the front. They're like, if you want to go watch him, you can. We're not going to force you though, because we're not like that.
Oh,
but
just
of course,
get off
everyone
work,
goes up
yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm getting off work. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go see him. So I walk up. And we're still in the shop because he's, got his photographers there. He's trying to prove he's in the shop,
Yeah.
whatever. And we go up to listen to him. And in the shop, like a lot of us would wear backwards hats. That's just like because you keeps the sweat
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
did
wherever
that,
you don't
yeah.
wear it in front of you. And I'm sitting there the whole time and I have the backwards hat. And then he leaves. Or no, this was before it. A guy comes up to me and goes, turn that hat around. This is Scott Walker. And I'm like, I just laughed in his face. I'm like, what? And he walks away. And then after the speech, he comes up to me and he goes, you little punk. I bet you think you're funny not turning your hat around for Scott Walker. You better have some respect for that man and what he believes. He's
You're
like,
like,
"Ah,"
"What?"
and I'm like, you're a greaseball. I said to him, like, you're a greaseball. And he just looked at me and went, and he
can't
walked
get
away.
over that
I'm
you
like,
said
you're a
that to you.
greaseball. And he's like, you better respect what he believes. I'm like, are you, like, because my hat
Because
wasn't
your
turned
hat
around.
was backwards.
Yeah. I was like, you're a greaseball.
What? That's absolutely ludicrous. Imagine.
I would just call
Getting that
guys
worked
grease
out.
balls at this place because they didn't understand any word over 5
Yeah.
letters. So you could
Yeah.
just say anything you wanted. And if it was over 5 letters, it didn't go in through their dictionary. They didn't understand what it meant.
That is just bizarre to get that worked up over you wearing it
Over my hat being backwards.
because Scott Walker, you're in his presence.
It's like it was President Barack Obama.
No, they would.
See,
like, yeah, wear it backwards.
Yeah,
It was
see, like,
Obama.
but I would have, like, yeah, that's where I'm going to show respect. Scott Walker comes in to be
Yeah, I
in
don't
a
know.
shop. He wants pictures of legit, whatever. I'm like, what do you
It could
expect?
be any governor. You're not gonna. Why is the?
It was hilarious. That is literally every day I have a job from
Yeah.
that story. It was horrible.
I know.
Rummel, give us another painting one. You have to have more.
There's
Okay,
gotta be
so
one,
since we're like by Milwaukee, we all go to Summerfest, and but Summerfest is during the week since it's 10 days. So some of the days like we have to work after, and so the one day we were like, he put us all on the same job or the same house because he knew that we were all going to Summerfest the night before, and we all went to, or like most of us went to Summerfest. Let's say about like 75% of our 11-man crew. So we get back the next morning, and it's like 90 degrees that day. So
Jeezer.
And
people
everyone's
are-
hungover.
Yeah, everyone's hungover. I'm pretty sure like Tommy and Ian still say they're drunk.
Jeez.
So we're like, okay, well, you can't do ladder work if you're drunk. So you're gonna paint on the ground for now. And so the day's going horribly. People are like throwing up over in like the bushes and stuff, and like just
Oh my god.
dying. And like the work ethic is awful. No one's doing anything. And it's getting hotter as it's getting later, and we're supposed to finish this house. So now people are starting to screw up where they're like hanging up shutters on the wrong, like you have to put the shutters back in this like exact spot
Yeah,
that you
'cause-
put them
yeah.
on so they fit and everything.
Yeah.
And they're putting them up in the wrong areas. Some of them are longer than others. Like this one, they were longer than that. Then like it was longer than the window. And I'm
Yeah.
like, do you see what that like what's
That's
going
not
out there?
right.
And at this point, since like most of them are first years, and I was there for 2 years, and so I'm doing all the like harder stuff, and like Jared, our boss, is telling me to fix the stuff that they're doing wrong, and everyone at this point, it's like later in the afternoon. It's probably like 4:00. Everyone's like wants to go home at this point, and I walk around the house after realizing that somebody went up on a 32-foot ladder, painted right, painted left, and then there was a tough spot with a bush in it. They said, I'm not going to paint there. So they went left, skipped a whole section, and then I had to go paint that. Well, they went on, and that was Tommy and Ian. And so I'm like, Tommy and Ian, go paint the chimney, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do this. And I walk around to the other I finished doing that, and I come around the house to the other side by the chimney to see what they're doing. And they're like 3/4 of the way done, and they painted it with the wrong paint. And I'm
4
like,
o'clock.
oh my God, Jared's gonna start killing people, like,
Yeah.
because Jared wasn't there at this point, and he was there for most of the day, and he left to go like clean up another job site that my brother was at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, someone's gonna, like, you guys got to start painting quick. Like, we got to get this done. So we have to go back up. We scrape as much of the paint as we can off, and then we all load up on the chimney. So it's like all like just piled around, and we're just painting. And Jared pulls up, and he's like, why are there? Because like you're not supposed to have that many people on one spot because we're killing the budget.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you guys all right there? And I was like, I can't explain that to you.
Well, you shouldn't have been the ones who had to do any explaining.
It was bad. Yeah.
Of course, it was Tommy though that messed it up. That's hilarious.
With the complete wrong color. And and then Tommy when I was like, that's the wrong paint, right? And he goes, you think he'll notice? I was like, yeah, he's gonna notice. I noticed.
Tom is an idiot. Oh my god.
It was like, and Jared he'll like have his moments where he'll get freak out sometimes.
Yeah.
And another house we were supposed to be finishing it, and we're not supposed to paint the gutters, because if you paint the gutters, you have to paint all the gutters, and we haven't painted a single gutter the whole like week. And it's a big house.
Yeah.
And we're just finishing it up, and all of a sudden I look to my right, and it was one of my coworkers, and he was painting next to me, and we were like kind of up by the top where the gutter was, and I look, and he's like, can you get that gutter across? And I was like, what do you mean get that gutter across? And I look at it, and he's painted a fourth of the gutter, and I just I'm like, Ben, we weren't supposed to paint the gutters. And then he goes, what? And I was like, we weren't supposed to paint those. And then at this point, everyone on our side of the house, because no one wants to go tell Jared that somebody messed it up, and we're all just looking at it like, ooh, it's going to be bad. And then Ben finally goes, all right, I'll tell him. And he goes down and tells him.
Did he freak out?
Yeah, he goes, what do you mean? Right away, like, what do you mean? And he walks over to show him, and he's like, I can't see it. I was like, because I was standing next to it, and I just pick up my paintbrush, and I point to like how far over he painted, and he goes, just puts his hands on his head, leans down to the ground, and just gets up, just drops F-bomb, goes, ugh, and just picks up kicks a 1 gallon, walks over, and starts yelling at like everybody else on the job site. He was
Did nothing.
Oh my god.
We painted the 1 gutter across. Apparently the homeowners were like, yeah, that's fine. Also,
That's
these
nice of
homeowners
them.
were not happy because somebody did the 5-in-1 stick game, threw it off the roof, didn't go pick it up out of the lawn.
They ran it over.
Dude drove over it in his lawnmower.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so it was a rough house.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I have a story from this last summer.
Sure.
So, speaking of idiots that we work with, every person in the factory, as Cleaver said, is a grease ball.
Yeah.
You don't get away from it. They're all greasy. So this guy that I'm working with, he's brand new. Been there for like a week maybe. And he wears the same shirt every single day to work. It says Wisfits on it. It's this group of like, I don't know, I don't think bikers. I just think this group of people who are like misfits from Wisconsin. It's pure grease. I'm telling you, this is disgusting.
You know he doesn't wash it every day.
No, he does not wash it every day,
Well,
or maybe he has like 3.
And
or
this is a
4.
job where
I
he
didn't
sweats
wash,
heavily.
Yeah.
I didn't wash my
I-
painting clothes.
Yeah, I wore like pants, but like I would switch it up.
Yeah.
I'd switch it up.
I mean, I would wash his shirts. Jeans are sometimes fine. But
And here's the other thing: he wore the same flame bandana every single day that he sweat profusely in. So that's putrid too.
how do some people live like that? Like they just spend every day with their bandanas working in the factory, just grinding and
know.
just grease balls.
We'll call this guy Dan. Okay. Dan.
Was it Dan?
His name wasn't Dan.
Okay,
It
we'll
was-
say it's Dan though. He's Dan.
Dan's a nice guy, but you can tell he's a little off because
There's something not clicking up there.
yes.
Wait,
first
dude.
of all,
How big is he?
no, his name's not actually Dan.
No, but how big is this guy? He wears a
he's-
flame bandana.
Yeah,
Is he kind of
he's
chubbier?
not that.
Does he have a
chubby.
ponytail?
No. That's the
Dang
thing,
it.
I know.
I used to have a neighbor that would wear a flame bandana, and he had a
No.
ponytail, and he would ride his riding lawnmower down the streets around the neighborhood.
I think I've seen that guy before.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
He would just
Really weird.
drive around like
In
within like a
Rothschild,
10
right?
block radius. Yeah.
I've seen that guy
On his
before.
lawnmower.
Freeze.
I'm
But this guy, Dan, okay.
Okay.
So Dan in the Wisfit shirt and the flame bandana. He's brand new, and something's off with him. Like every time I talk to him, he's super like nice, he's cordial, but like he talks about his parents a lot.
Okay.
He lives with his parents.
Yikes. How old is he?
He's at least 32.
Yikes. Okay.
So just a little off. And one day we're unloading a truck, and this is the worst job you can get at this factory that I was at this last summer, because they pack these things completely tight. Like they have the ergonomics or whatever, so they get like the full thing completely packed, every box perfectly fit. And also inside the bed of the truck, once you start going, it's like 95 degrees back there. So like I'm sweating, he's sweating, even though he already is a
Oh,
sweaty boy.
no.
He's
Tell me he doesn't
dripping.
reek.
He reeks. He reeks like cigarettes and sweat. Like
Cigarettes?
BO.
I feel like you can genuinely smell cigarettes through people's sweat
Yeah,
when they
you
sweat.
can. You can smell like cigarettes through a lot. Like cigarette smoke it's there.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very gross.
So gross. People that smoke in their cars, most disgusting thing
yeah.
ever.
And then, so we're unloading this truck, and I'm up top, so I'm like bringing things down for him. He's doing like the bottom rows. We're kind of talking a little bit, but I'm just kind of like giggling. I'm like, like fake laugh because he's
Yeah.
weird. And then I turn around and like I notice this box is like kind of loose, and I turn around to just grab this one on the other side. He reaches up for it, drops it on his own head. And these
How
are-
heavy was it?
It's pretty heavy. It's like 30 pounds.
Oh.
And it's probably like 5 feet above him. So it's square right here, right above his eye.
No.
And he starts crying.
Oh,
This dude starts crying. This adult. And I'm like, I'm like, you okay? He's like, I can't see.
Oh,
And he's-
no.
Work comp.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you can't
That'd
see.
be hilarious. He's just in the meeting looking across from his boss, staring him dead in the eyes. He's like, so you're telling me you're blind right now? He's like, I can't see.
He's like, trying
They're like,
to
so
feel
you,
his
they're like, so
face.
you can't see us right now? He's like, I can't see. I can't see anything. He just pretends he's like, what's his name from Trailer Park
Oh,
Boys, where
yeah.
he rides around in the chair all the time. But this guy just has his eyes widely open the whole time and just pretends he's blind for the rest of his life
Yeah,
to take a
yeah.
check.
So Dan in the Wisfit shirt, bandana, sweating, cigarette smoke, is
He's crying.
Confirmed crier.
he's crying. This adult male is crying from something that would not make me cry by any means.
Yeah.
He's bleeding, like he's cut,
Okay.
but it's like it would require maybe 3 stitches.
Did he go to the hospital for it?
They call in the ambulance,
Ooh.
Oh,
Poor
come
Dan.
Once you
on.
drop the I can't see.
and he's crying. Yeah, exactly. So they had to, and they're like everyone's kind of like rolling their eyes. Even the boss is like, "Yeah, they're coming, and he's sitting like he's still sitting in the bed of this truck, bawling. He's just bawling. I've never seen a grown man cry that hard.
This is the most Chucky move I've ever
Yeah.
heard. We're not making him Dan. His name's Chucky.
Okay,
have a-
Chucky, but but then they come, they check him out, take him away. He comes back a week later.
A week he got
A
off?
week. He got a free week off. And this guy had only been here for 2 weeks.
Gotta start dropping
Oh my
boxes on your head.
God.
So like this makes you wonder, like, how many jobs have you had?
Yeah.
Like, and so he comes back. He's like, "It's okay, man." To me, I'm like, "I didn't do anything. You did this to yourself." What are you saying? I'm like, "Okay, good. That makes me feel better, I guess." Like whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I'm all good." And then throughout that like first shift, he was back.
Yeah.
4 hours in, he starts crying again.
Oh, come. He's having PTSD of the box falling
Yeah,
accident.
but this time he's not crying about like his injury. He's like, it's just my parents. He's talking about his parents and he's crying. And
oh
then,
my God.
and I'm just confused. I'm like, Chucky, his name is.
Yeah,
now.
Chucky Garage.
Chucky. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm working with Jack Vesper.
Yeah.
He worked there too. And
Okay.
We'd like look at each
Did
other.
Poot know this guy?
Poot wasn't there. That was at Kobe and Kobe. This is a different factory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but week later the guy was gone. He quit.
Dude,
Too
you know,
much for
you
him.
know what? Honestly,
Yes.
I wouldn't expect many men to cry, but you got to give the guy credit. He has a shit life.
Yeah, I mean,
He does.
sure.
He works at a factory every day. He's got 3 shirts to his name. He wears the same bandana every day. He still lives with his parents. He's 32.
But he wouldn't cry like the crying was like for like valid per se reasons. like his parents were like fighting or something.
Oh,
it's like,
come
It's like he's a
on.
middle schooler.
Yeah,
That's-
the other. If he would have worked at J&D, they would have shredded
Yeah.
him to pieces.
We were at like I was at like a nicer factory, like smaller. Like
Yeah.
probably like 40 people that worked there
Okay.
in total.
Yeah,
Even like some of the nice old Asian ladies that were roasting this guy.
Oh,
They're like,
we-
they're like, who does this guy think he is? He come here 2 weeks, he get a week off? No,
Yeah.
I drop box on my head. No.
I mean, me and Tom were roasting one of our friends because we thought he was faking it. He was on the ground. We were painting this wall, and he was just like, he's like, dude, my side hurts so bad.
Oh, I
And
remember you
went
telling me
down
this.
On, like he's on all
Was it like an
fours, and
appendix?
he's like, we're like, oh, are you hungover? Like, dude, you just like grow up. And that's
Mhm.
what we kept telling him. We were like, he just kept like kind of like making fun of him.
egging him on, yeah.
And then he's like, maybe I'm just hungry. So he started eating something, and then he just like, it's not getting better. So then we were like, dude, maybe you got something going on. So we started like trying to like joke with him and pick the worst thing. We were like appendix, like
Yeah.
kidney stones. And then he's like, no, it's not like that. So then he just sat there on all like fours, just on the ground with me and Tom painted the wall for a while. And then finally we're like, maybe you should go home or something, dude.
Like you're
And
weirding us out.
finally he went home, and turns out, yeah, he had a hernia.
Oh my god.
Send him home with a hernia.
And yeah,
He's like, wow, grow up, kid. Nothing's wrong with you. He's just going home. You have to get surgery for that, don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So I mean,
you?
we
Jeez.
felt kind of bad after, but
it
it was
kinda
kind of
funny.
an entertaining morning. I mean,
must be.
I mean, I think it would be kind of funny too. I probably would be like,
I mean, there were some kids that like on the painting job. There were some kids that would definitely that sit there and don't like don't do anything.
That's with every
They'll like
summer
sit on the
job.
ladder, or they'll sit on the roof, or just eat, or sit
Yeah.
on like the ground and not do anything.
Yeah.
Like there's one kid, the rest of the like they were on the other. This was the same day as the
Mhm.
hernia.
Yeah.
And they were on the other side of the house,
Same day,
and I
okay.
walked to the other side, and I was like, "All right, well, do you guys want to spare somebody? Because Ian went home with a hernia, or Ian went. Well, first of all,
You're like, he went home sick.
I'm like, he was feeling bad,
Yeah.
so like he wasn't gonna do anything, so we are just gonna send him home, and then. And then I was like, "What's up with you, Steve?" And Steve was sitting on the ground, not doing anything. He's like, "I just threw up," and I was like, "Why'd you throw up?" And it was like he should not have been hungover for any reason. It was like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
and like
It's just a random
it
one.
was like a random Wednesday, and he shouldn't like. It was in the afternoon. He should have been fine by now.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I threw up," and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, they made me put in a chew." I was like, "What do you mean they made you put in a chew?"
This is
He's
a
like,
sandlot.
oh my god.
He's like, "Yeah, they." He's like, we had another kid named Logan, not my brother,
Okay, yeah.
but he's like, "Logan made me put in this dip, and I didn't want to, and then I threw up." And I was like, "So how long have you been sitting here?" He's like, 30 minutes. I was like, "What?
He's recovering.
You've been sitting here for 30
I mean,
minutes?"
you know, if we're sitting here for 30 minutes, you get another chew.
And I know
Toughen up.
for sure that he threw that chew in just so he could throw up, so he could sit there
Probably,
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably pulling trig in the woods. He's like, come
It's
on,
like, I
30
gotta
minutes.
throw up. I gotta throw up. I
Finger
gotta-
down his throat. That's
God,
funny.
That's
it's
messed
like,
up.
yeah, slackers, man. I hate.
Yeah.
the summer
summer
jobs.
It's summer
last
jobs.
year.
Like, you literally, they're horrible.
Like, you have those off days.
Mm.
Oh yeah, there's
There's
definitely
those
those off
people who
days,
are
but you
just-
still gotta
I
do it.
know. You still
Like,
get it done.
Me and this, it was at the end of the year, and this one kid has been like only doing the easy jobs,
Mhm.
and like we all picked up on it. My brother picked up on it, like because he's been working with him for more than 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
He's like, "Yeah, he just always does it. Just do it, so otherwise there'll be a confrontation." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let this kid win." So sure enough, the next day I went to work, and it was just me and him, and I told my brother, I'm like, "This kid's a mental midget. I'm going to make him
mental
do.
midget.
I will outplay him with my mind."
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's like, "Do you want to go hang those shingles up there and there are like bees up there and like
Oh.
wasps and stuff?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna go hang those shutters up there. I hung those I took those down yesterday, and when we did all that, like, you've just been painting windows." He's like, "Okay, man, if you're really gonna be like that, I mean, I guess I'll do it." I was like, "Okay, I'll go get the drill for you."
Like trying to guilt you.
Honestly, that's the way to go.
And I
though.
went and I
Yeah.
grabbed the drill, and he sat down there for a while, and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go paint that window." And I was like, "All right, I'll go do something else." And because he thought that like I didn't have anything to do, and I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
But I was,
You made a
Making
job.
him.
but
Yeah.
I made a job of like, oh, I'll pick up this and I'll go do this, and I
Yeah.
played his game, and I made him go up on that wall, and I took a picture and I sent it to my brother, and I was like,
I did it.
That's survivor strategy at its
Yeah.
highest levels.
I have a story from a Carl's Jr. If we want to, I don't know if you
Sure,
guys,
might as well.
Do you have bedtime
That can be your
stories?
bedtime. Yeah, I have a bedtime story.
Okay.
I have a great
This will
one.
just be my bedtime story. But Carl's Jr. is gonna test a CBD infused burger on 420 in Denver.
do
That's
people
lit.
still eat
Wait,
at
why
Carl's
CBD though?
Jr.'s?
I don't know.
They should just do THC
I
if
think
it's
it's
gonna
just 'cause
be
it,
it's
like-
legal state.
It's because CBD has the like good connotation now. Like everyone's cool with CBD. Like that's a big.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
it's so
is-
CBD
I
is just
What
a
is
different
CBD?
cannabinoid that
It's
you find
like-
in hemp.
Yeah. So like there's THC, which gets you
Yeah.
high,
There's literally hundreds.
and then CBD just like soothes you down. It's like
yeah,
where
it's
all
meant
the
to relax your
medical-
body
yeah.
and everything, but it's legal because like a lot of they'll use CBD for a lot of like people that have seizures or
Yeah.
Parkinson's
So
It
you
and
does
stuff
help
like
with
that.
tremors.
burger to relax yourself?
So
Yeah,
that's
it's like-
stupid. They
it's
should just
just
do
It
THC.
should be
Honestly,
THC to get high, but like the CBD, you still feel.
Who
I
goes to
guess.
Carl Jr.'s anyways?
I would go to
Who's
a
eating
Carl's
there?
Jr. if they had a THC burger for sure.
I
Carl's Jr. isn't bad. Their shakes are really
Get
good.
food
I've
poisoning.
never-
or
Hardee's,
something.
Carl's Jr. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but the burger's gonna cost $4.20
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
accordingly.
That's pretty sweet.
But it's only at one of the restaurants on this Saturday.
They're probably gonna have a long line, I bet, just for
Yeah.
people saying
Have you
they
ever
went
seen
to get
the
it.
burgers in like Japan? Like they're like the Burger King burgers. They're
Oh,
like
the black one. yeah.
Oh
black.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's weird. Why?
I don't,
Super
I
weird.
don't understand. They're
I-
just
they just like being
weird
weird.
over there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's called the Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger
serve-
Delight.
That's a mouthful and a half.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'll take the Rocky Mountain cheeseburger. What is it? Rocky
The
Mountain.
Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger Delight.
Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger
Yeah.
Delight.
It features
Jeez.
2 beef patties, pickled jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, waffle fries, and about 5 milligrams of hemp-derived CBD extract.
5
what I-
milligrams is nothing.
you know what I
In,
bet you they're doing?
chain Santa
Gummies are
Fe
like
re-
20 milligrams.
you-
so
I
that's
bet
literally
you
you're gonna
they're-
feel nothing.
Yeah.
I bet you they're not even putting anything in it.
It might
They're
not.
probably
I
just.
bet you they
They're
aren't.
probably just saying it, and they're just gonna get everybody.
You know what they probably have?
They're just trying to get all-
It's
yeah,
420,
they're
dude.
getting all
Let's
the
go eat
stoners
this-
to come
let's
in,
go
yeah.
They
eat
probably have a
that
bottle of
burger.
CBD, like, because you can get it where you just drip it in your mouth. They probably just put a drip on
yeah.
each burger. And it's nothing.
It's smart.
You would never
marketing.
know.
This is smart
Yeah.
marketing.
Oh,
though.
100%,
Really
for
smart
sure.
marketing. Imagine if like McDonald's
They're
did
just
this
gonna-
nationwide.
They're just gonna get all the
Kill it.
high people on like they're all
420
gonna
to
come
come
in
in.
and they're gonna
420.
be like, yeah, I'll take the CBD
Yeah,
burger.
they're gonna love it.
And they take out like it's probably just water in the thing, and they do it in front of like that little like the frosty when they
Yeah.
flip it upside down. They
Yeah.
just lift it up and they just like put a drop of water on it and they put it and,
And
they
these dudes
give
are
it to
just
them and they're just
freaking
like,
out.
yeah,
Yeah, that's their market.
Genius marketing. Plan.
That is
Yeah.
brainwashing somewhat, but you know what is also brainwashing?
Let's hear it.
What I saw today. The
Oh.
greasiest morning to school ever.
You
So I
talking
get
about
up this
yeah.
morning for my business law test, and I'm walking to Centennial Hall, and there's a clock tower in the middle of campus for people that have never been to La Crosse. And at the clock tower, I see just cardboard cutouts, like 4 feet tall, of fetuses.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "This is murder," the blah, 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 whatever, okay? So I'm like, oh, gosh, a protest on campus. Like, do they have to, I'm like, well, this is weird. I didn't get an email or anything about this.
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, no, Joe Gao sent out.
Joe
an email.
Gao.
Yeah,
sent
I did
out an
after.
email,
But then
I never
I'm
opened
walking,
those.
right? And I'm walking, and all of a sudden I start to get closer. And I'm like, because from a distance, you couldn't tell how old these people are because I was very far away. I
Yeah.
get closer, and I'm like, these aren't college kids.
Yeah, no.
It's one old man and then a bunch of kids from
I
like
saw some
8 to
kids,
12
yeah.
years old passing out mini little anti-abortion flyers. I'm like, first, okay, there's a lot of problems here.
Child soldiers.
Problem 1. It's 11 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Why aren't you in school?
That's true.
You know these kids are
Yeah.
homeschooled probably, and they're just crazy. There was only one guy, like an old-looking priest guy, and he had these kids, and it was kind of like dogs. He had one at his side, and then he had like 3 running around, and he saw somebody, point him out, and a kid would just run right
Yeah.
towards him.
It's like the White Walker. He's like a
It's literally
White Walker, the night
because you
king.
knew if it was college kids or he got anybody our age, it would just turn into an argument instantly. But he thinks because there's little kids, nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah.
This little girl comes up to me, running at me, and she's like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "No, I don't want that. What are you doing here right now? How old are you?" And she just is like, runs off.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening here? It was the weirdest,
Yeah.
just most questionable start to my morning I've ever had in my entire
Yeah.
life.
I mean,
saw
it was
a lot
only a
about
matter
that.
of like 2 hours until like the fake
Yeah, it
the
was-
fake signs came out because like you know when
Yeah.
on
Some
campus
kid-
happens, then all the students start making their own like fake signs
Yeah.
that are like Krusty Krab
Krab
is
is
unfair or
unfair,
like
yeah.
legalized cocaine.
There was
Yeah.
one
Or,
kid that
doing
had
their own
legalized
advo-
marijuana.
I had
They start
one-
doing their own like advocate
Yeah.
stuff. It was only like
Some
2
kid
hours
had like
until that happened.
"It's raining" sign, but there were some people getting heated out.
Oh
there.
yeah, there were people arguing. There was girls that were taking. It was this was the funniest part too. Okay, I'm walking to class again at 2, and it's still going on,
Yeah.
and it's raining. Okay, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
But there's a girl with a water bottle going around spraying the chalk with water to erase it. I'm like, we're about to get 5 hours of thunderstorms. It's gonna be gone. No need to waste your smart water that you paid
Yeah.
$3 for at Quick Trip. It's just
People were just going like, I don't.
yeah. I'm surprised it
Imagine
didn't get
being
physical.
that,
I
like-
saw there was a cop there.
How do you get that riled up over someone?
I mean, not to
You
be
have a bad day?
very,
Yeah.
very.
Like,
Imagine
little
putting
kids
that
in
way.
my face.
Yeah. Really?
Ooh, ooh.
Oh God.
It was
Yeah.
just, it was so questionable on so many levels.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there just going off.
There was like this woman too who was walking into class before me, and she was like 25, I think, because she like must have had a kid. She's like, I've had a kid. These kids look like my age or like my
My
son's
kid, yeah.
age. I'm like, this is just mind blowing.
That is. I did you get one of the pamphlets?
No, I told her no. I got her like she came up to me and I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
my roommate Willie got one.
Oh, that's because
And
people exactly
No,
people didn't
yeah,
want to be mean to the little kids.
But I saw what was in it.
no,
And they
no.
they were comparing slavery
to abortion.
I mean,
Oh
there
my
was-
God.
What? There was that when we went to that was it 2 weeks ago, that Darty or whatever, and that man was telling me to be a good follower of Christ.
Why did a guy show up with like a megaphone and a
Oh no,
sign?
he was like 50. He was a Jesus freak, but
and he just showed up to
yeah.
the Darty.
yeah, he
At
yeah.
the Darty?
Well, yeah, he like walked in like right after we walked in, and I was like throwing the football around, and I was kind of like on the
You
outskirts
just
of it.
playing football.
I was just tossing the football
Yeah.
around with like some other people, and he picked me out as I wasn't with the herd, so he like wolf picked me out,
Yeah.
and he started telling me all this stuff like don't be a sinner, all this stuff. He had a terrible throw. He was awful. I gave him the football a few
playing-
times.
Aw,
Yeah, I made him throw it a
That
few
was your
times.
mistake. You let him in on the game of catch.
Well, he was already like he wouldn't leave me
Were
alone,
you
and
kinda
then I just
hammered?
had to figure out how what.
Were you drunk?
I mean, I would like no, it was pretty
Okay.
early. I was drinking though,
It'd be
and I
funny
was
if you were
like, "Here,
drunk.
dude."
If I
I
saw
asked him if he
drunk,
wanted a beer, and he's like, "Nah, dude, I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
sinner." I was like, "Oh, easy there." And then I said, "You know, like as long as you're here," and I want to see how he could throw. Not good. It was not good.
What was
He
this guy's idea? Like,
almost hit a couple cars, hit the side of the house one time.
there's like hundreds of kids there, and he just comes waddling in, think he's gonna change kids' lives while they're hammered.
I took the pamphlets that he had, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll hand them out for you." No, didn't have them.
Right in the trash. Second, I saw a video from that Darty. When everyone left, there was like a recliner chair just in flames in the parking lot.
Oh, I
Sinners,
saw that.
man. That's because
I
I didn't.
So if
hand out
anything, the guy got people more riled
No,
up.
it's because I didn't hand out the pamphlets. If I handed out the pamphlets, I guarantee you, that
You're
fire
going to
wouldn't have
hell.
happened.
Yeah.
There was a fire.
Party
at the
would have
Darty.
ended. I would have been like, "Go home."
Did cops show up
And
to
I
that?
was
Is that why it ended, or did
no,
it just
they drove
end?
by and they were waving at us a couple times. It just ended.
Just
Everyone
saying hi,
everyone-
or
yeah,
what?
everyone got tired.
Wow.
Interesting.
Tip my hat to the lacrosse police, except for the fact that I paid $45 in parking tickets yesterday.
Really.
2 parking tickets, $120, $125, $45. Just I forget to pay on my app every day when I come to school.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's so annoying. $25 for a parking ticket when it's $1 an hour to park. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just charge
Did you do my
kids
trick?
$10,
Did you do my
$5?
trick?
I did not.
He's still using
I
it?
should. Does it
Yes.
still work?
Yeah. Well, we can't all do it now.
Yeah, I know,
okay.
I know.
We
No, I
can't-
know. After that show, I had a couple people tell me they were gonna
we're gonna
hop
have
on
to-
the wagon.
I haven't gotten it yet. I don't know if it's like a timing thing or if maybe they just.
That'd be hilarious if you got towed though somehow. It's like Rummel, I never got a ticket, and then next week we're like, so what happened to your cars? I'm working up the money to get it out of impound. It didn't turn out it was a visitor,
Tom's
and they
car
figured
got
it out.
towed one time earlier in the year.
Yeah, he still hasn't paid for it. He said.
What? How do you
I
have to pay for
I
it
have-
to get your
I have
car
no
out of
clue.
the tow thing?
He
didn't
told me last night he still hasn't paid for it.
Well,
and he
that's
did that in Madison
interesting.
like 2 weeks ago. So I told him they're gonna come to collect everything he's worth, which he said
Wasn't
is
there a
about
warrant
$13.
out for his arrest also though? Because he didn't pay one ticket one time.
Yeah,
'cause,
no, he didn't pay his tickets in Minnesota or something,
Or it was a speeding ticket and he didn't pay, and there was like a warrant out for his arrest.
A warrant out for his arrest.
There was.
That's funny.
because he's just too lazy to pay his tickets
Yeah.
that it turns into a warrant.
Our house is actually like Peyton says he also doesn't like. He's like, yeah, that ticket. I'm not gonna pay it.
Peyton got a lot of tickets. He got pulled over and he got expired license, expired registration, broken taillight, broken headlight.
All in one.
Yeah,
This was all in one go. Non-registered insurance.
The
It
one-
was
the
$400
one
in
time-
tickets.
Oh my.
The one time he was like, oh, that's the bill for my from when I went to the hospital or whatever. And I was like, okay, so you're gonna pay? He's like, yeah, it's just a nick on my credit score. I was like, what?
That's what he said.
Yeah, I was like,
Peyton does not care.
I was like, ooh.
That is not
You
a good way to go.
You don't really
about
want to
it.
go through. I was like, Peyton, you don't really want to go through life just taking.
starting
nicks
off
on
Peyton's
your
gonna have a
credit score.
350 credit score coming out of college, and
It's
he's
just a
just gonna
nick
get
off the credits.
horrible. He's gonna
I've
go to
never heard someone refer to it like that. Ah, that's just a nick
A
off my
nick.
credit
A
score.
I've
nick
never
off
heard that
the-
either. I could see
Come
Peyton
on.
going to get a mortgage, and he goes in to get a loan on it at a bank. He's like 26 years old. They're like, well, due to the fact that you have a credit score of 350, we're gonna have to give you a 32% interest rate on the house. He's like, you know what? Let's do it. Signs
30-year
on.
mortgage.
And then they're like, okay, your first mortgage is just insanely high. He's like,
Yeah,
nick on
that's
my
just-
credit score.
that's
They
just
come
a-
to foreclose. He's like,
A
just
nick.
got to live outside for a week.
It's just a nick on my foreclosure.
Just a nick on my
He's like,
livelihood.
he's going through life like he's driving around like a 2005 like Chevy Corolla, just like
Yeah.
it'll buff out.
Yeah.
A little credit score will buff out a little bit right there.
That's funny. That's funny.
And end the night, Rummel, with telling us about your current house situation and how the feds are
Oh,
coming.
Well, not feds,
Not
but
the
yeah.
legit feds.
So our house is, we have a few like, to get our security deposit, we got to put a
You're-
little work in.
you guys are gonna get. I figured it was
Well,
just gone.
we
Just
are hopeful.
Okay,
We have some
yeah.
hope. Well, not anymore. 'Cause
No, it's out. It's out the door.
But-
It's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. They haven't cleaned a thing.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago we got a thing in the mail of a list, and I didn't open the mail, so this is not on me.
Okay.
I open I come in the door from class, and they're like, "We got the list of what we need to do before we move out." And I was like, "Okay, we have some time. We're not going to do that now because our place just gets trashed in 2 days."
Sure.
So
Yeah.
It
That's a
takes
bad
one
idea.
night and one person coming in as a tornado, and they're drunk, and your guys' house is
Yeah.
ruined.
so then we're like, "Okay, not bad." What they didn't tell me is there was a second sheet in that envelope that said we are coming by on April 17th and 18th inspecting the houses for like damage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't show that one. So all of a sudden I get an email today in the editing bay while I'm trying to edit the pack for tomorrow, this class, and it says, "Just letting you know we will be in your house tomorrow at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to like noon."
Yeah.
And
you're
I
not
was
getting
like,
that
and
done.
it says to check for damages. And I was like, hey, did anybody just get this email? Why didn't, like, they were supposed to let us know about this a while ago. Like, I'm about to email in and say, like, you guys, in the lease, we have more time. You guys are supposed
Yeah.
to give us more of a heads up. Or no one answers. So I go home, and I'm going to say it to them, and I'm going to send the email right when I get home. And lo and behold, Jack Schlinchlong goes,
Yeah.
well, there was this other piece of paper in that envelope too. And I was like, what do you mean other piece of paper? And he's like, I don't know. I read it. It didn't really say anything. Pick it up in bold, asterisk next to it. We will be touring. I was
Literally
like,
says
how
the
did you, who missed this?
It's
Who
must
didn't
read
read
over
this?
it.
And
That's a
then-
$1,300. That's a $1,500 mistake.
Yeah.
And so now, and then he's like, "Don't worry, we have it covered." I was like, "What do you mean? No, you guys fixed the drywall and all that stuff from the dartboard, and like, did
No,
you
definitely
guys,
not.
Dude, they have
fix
probably
the-
100 holes in their wall from the
fix the
dartboard.
other stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah." I look over at it,
No.
took the Saturdays for the Boys flag off the wall that was to the left, and then draped it over the top of it. And he's
Like
like,
they aren't gonna check.
I was like, "What do you mean? Like they're just gonna they're checking for damages. You don't think they're gonna be like, oh, just flag there, that's good?" It's like, And I go into my room. The dartboard is like not on the wall. Everything's like that. Every evidence that a dartboard was there is now in my room. And I'm like,
They're gonna
Yeah.
look in your
I'm
room.
like,
they're checking
they're
the whole
going
house.
The whole house checking. Like you can't just put it in my room and then expect nothing. Like,
yeah.
and then I'm like, so how are we gonna fix like? Because now the people that aren't living there right now, but were like earlier in the year,
Yeah.
cut holes in our ceiling so he could get corded Wi-Fi to his upstairs room. I don't know how we're gonna fix that.
They're
not
not
happening.
living with you
Um,
anymore?
No, like it was like
sublease thing?
really early in the year,
Yeah, okay.
so subleased, and apparently our stove doesn't or oven doesn't work, but that's not like
That's not
that
your
shouldn't be our fault.
problem,
That
yeah.
oven was probably
Trash.
the first oven ever built.
yeah.
What else?
Holes
There's-
in the wall, hole in the ceiling.
There's like,
Um,
I mean, just there's water damage apparently. So over the winter, one of our pipes must have burst or something.
Kitchen's
or
disgusting.
Something's
Kitchen
leaking.
needs a hard clean.
like
The
I
toilet.
don't know who didn't know this, but like apparently when the upstairs shower runs, it leaks. There's water dripping in our kitchen, like through the ceiling.
No one noticed.
And I was like, how do we not know? Who didn't notice this for the longest of time?
Well, I guess you didn't. So
Yeah, but I guess I didn't either. But
Huh.
and so now I don't know what we're.
Now you're out $1,500.
I'm thinking that when I show up at home after this radio show, it's gonna be a sight to see because Jack texted me during the radio show saying, "Where's the Swiffer?" The Swiffer
That's
is not
big.
going to solve our problems.
Swiffer's
Where's the
Like it's
Swiffer?
gonna
As there's
clean the
holes in the
Swiffer does
wall.
not like fix
Yeah.
the walls. So
The
He's
walls,
gonna-
the holes, everything. And
Sounds
like
like-
that, you would actually
yeah.
need like a contractor, somebody that knows what they're
Yeah.
doing to fix this stuff. Like, there's
I mean,
a
it's
lot
not that
wrong
hard.
in their
It's
house.
the
There used to be
walls are-
chalk all over the walls.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. The
Dude.
purple
you remember
chalk,
that story.
yeah.
We can fix the
Yeah.
walls. The like painting interior. I kind of learned how to like spackle and fix holes and stuff.
Half
like that, so
your
that's not hard.
drapes are gone off your windows or whatever you call those.
We can buy those.
you know those
cheap
things that
at
hang off
Walmart.
every time
You
they
think
played
you'll get it
football
done
catch.
by 9 o'clock tomorrow.
No.
I mean, they would fall all the time. Like just open the door, you touch them, they just fall.
Do you just try to
So
argue it or something?
I mean, if you look at all of
There
the,
was a lot of football played in that house.
if you look,
That's funny.
if you look at like the other houses though next door, all their drapes are also falling off. So we're not alone in it. I don't think.
You're just hoping for the best at this point.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell the dude. I'm gonna be like, hey, we're gonna need an extension on this. You come back in like a week. We'll have it fixed. We'll have it better than it is now, and give us the evaluation then. And if we've determined that if he says no to that, we're gonna go and we're gonna be like, well, you didn't do your job, and you didn't clean the back. Like you didn't clean up our parking spots in the
Yeah.
back. You didn't do ice removal. You didn't do any of that stuff.
They
Like-
didn't. They never
Yeah.
plowed. Like to get. You remember when the car was
Yeah, I
stuck?
remember that.
They never did anything for that
Yeah.
parking lot.
It's just hard when they have so much power.
Hey, Jack's dad's a lawyer. He's gotten out of much worse. He's gotten out of
Yeah,
taking
you
out
told me
street
about that,
lights.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a house of 905
Yeah.
V city or V Reliant.
Real estate.
Real
Is that
estate.
Reliant.
It's gonna be a
Not very
civil
reliant,
lawsuit.
as we
Yeah.
can tell.
Huh. That's interesting.
Who knows? Well, that's another week, ladies and gents. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the YouTube, Hot Takes. Check out the Twitter, Hot Takes UWL, capital H, capital T, capital UWL. Tune in next week. We'll be back with more entertainment.
See ya.